Hey, how's it going? So I was out here working in my workshop today, and got a project up here on the bench. I got my wife's Schwinn bicycle from when she was a teenager. So I was gonna fix this up for a surprise for her. And it used to be like a 10-speeder, you know, with them curly bars and stuff. So that I'm making it into a cruiser now with a regular handlebars and a bigger seat, and so it'll be more comfortable for her. And so that way she can get some little bit of exercise. Oh, and I also found this one here. This is a matching one from my daughter. My son and I were working on it. We got this one done. We just got to clean it up a little bit, put new tires, and got all the everything lubricated and everything. New seat. Looks pretty spiffy. So anyways, I was working on my wife's, and we put new tires and tubes on this one. And I went to pump up the tires, and I got my air compressor out. I think this is like a Civil War era Sears and Roebuck model that I got off my father-in-law. But anyways, no air. I was like, uh-oh. So that's what I was going to talk about today. I just kind of went in and tore this air compressor apart, wanted to see how the thing works. And by the way, don't tell my wife. She doesn't subscribe to this channel anyways. But it's a secret, so don't tell her about the bicycle thing. So anyways, here's my air compressor. I guess I see the problem. There's no head on the darn thing. But anyway, no, I just took it apart as a joke. Anyways, so my air compressor later here wasn't working very good because I don't know why. And I was trying to figure that out, so I tore it apart to try to see what's going on. So anyways, the only thing I did to this thing is put some oil in it, and that shouldn't have hurt it. So I pulled the head off and then turned the crank here to see if my pistons were going up and down. Oh, they're moving all over the place, but yeah, that still works okay. So that's not the problem. And it seems like it's getting oil up in there and everything, so that's pretty good. Then I pulled the head off, and as you see here, I kind of took it apart already. But I pulled the head off this thing, just kind of looking at it, and it's got a couple layers in here, and it got valves in it. Now, what I did is I went and I blew air through this in my mouth, and it was free. It would go both ways, and I figured it's got to have a check valve in there of some sort. And sure enough, this is the intake valves. So the air comes in through the top here, through the top of the head. And then the intake valves here open up. They're just little flapper valves. They're like a feeler gauge or something in here. I didn't know how complicated these air compressors were, but certainly it's much easier than an internal combustion engine for sure. But as the air comes in, these flapper valves just open up. They pull up a little bit, like that. And then over here on this side, you got the exhaust valves. Again, these flapper valves used to be there, and they would slam shut when the pistons came up, and it would trap the other way. Actually, they would slam shut when the pistons went down, and it would stop the air from going back. It only goes one way, in other words. So then air comes in here, and it goes out of here. And these valves here were just laying there. So I'm like, well, there's my problem. And in fact, if I had either one of these open, it would have caused a problem, but both of them just broke right off. That's kind of odd, except this is just really old metal. I can't see why that's a problem with rusty old metal. Yeah, they fall apart. So now the next thing will be see if I can get, maybe they still make these valves. I don't know. I would expect probably that's a very common thing to break, because everything else is pretty heavy duty. But these things are always bending back and forth, and that would be a stress point, and these things would just pop right off. Boop. Anyways, so we'll see if I can get my flapper valves here figured out. And I'm going to get them for all four, the intake and the exhaust, to see if I can figure that out. Might as well replace them all, because these ones will surely break soon as well. But that was what was wrong. That's good. This is a nice old compressor. Like I said, I think this is a Civil War era Sears Craftsman model, I guess. Maybe even before Craftsman, I don't know. But it puts out air, you know. It does a good job until it didn't. So we'll see if we can fix it. But if you ever want to know what's inside your air compressor, I would expect probably it hadn't changed a whole lot over the years. And some of these newer ones, these ones that don't have oil, I'm not sure. I have to look in there, but they're probably something similar to this.